Hi, and welcome to, I think we're at the sixth video. In this video, sorry. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to publish your products. So up until now, we've designed, we've looked at designs with text only, mostly for weddings. And then we looked at how to design with photos and text. So now today I'm going to take you through I'm going to take you through how to actually publish a product, and so then it's available in the oh Lord, in the marketplace on Zazzle. So as I have mentioned before, I think in in the first video, oh Lord, sorry. Oh, you don't have to market your own products. So, looking at Zazzle's homepage here, you can go in there and search for anything you want. Or you can even go to the categories and you can have a look at wedding stuff. So this is how the majority of customers are going to find your content. So you need to publish it so that it appears in the search results. So, but that's what we're going to go through today. Sorry. All right. So once you've logged in, you'll go again to your little profile pic at the top right, click on that, and then click on Save Designs. So Save Designs, this shows you all of the designs that you have worked on. So let's go ahead with this wedding invitation as an example. But the process works the same for all the products. So basically, once you've finished designing your product and you've checked here where it says personalize this template, you've checked on details to make sure that all the content that should be editable is editable, that it's in the right order, it makes sense, it's easy for a customer to fill in. And unfortunately, the scrolling thing is a bit of a nightmare, but you have to kind of adjust. And if there's anything there that's incorrect, then you'll just go to the design tool and make whatever changes you need, and back you come. Okay, so when you're ready, you've made sure that everything is correct, you go click on sell it. So this is the page where you fill in all the details on your product. So starting at the top, you need to give it a title. Now, in terms of titles, they are important for search engine results, because you don't just get customers through Zazzle's marketplace, but also through Google searches. So you want to make sure that your product is optimized for the search engines, both Zazzle's search engine and Google's. I used to do search engine optimization in my previous life, so it's something I'm very familiar with. So I'm going to take you through some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. Okay, so you need to add a title. You'll see here it already has invitation, because this is an invitation. So the first thing to note is when you put in a title, you can take that invitation out, and you don't have to put invitation at the end. Zazzle will automatically tack that on. So it's great because it gives you more space, because I think you have 50 characters here max. And when we used to have to put the type of product in, it limited you. Okay, so what do you put in your title? So looking at the wedding invitation, and if you want to have a closer look at it, you can. I'll get to that when we get there. I just want to have a good look at the the design. So looking at the design, what can we say about it? Well, first of all, it's black and white, so that's important because people do search for wedding invitations based on their color scheme. So black and white. And then what else can we say about it? Well, it's text only. We've got this handwritten script. We've got a QR code. There's no photo. Some people don't want a photo on their wedding invitations. So there's a number of things that we can put in the title that will tell the customer, some basic information about this. But give me a sec, sorry. Oh yes, so what you want to do in your title is the most important thing you want to think about when you're doing your title, your description, and your tags, which we'll get to, is you want to think about what would a customer search for? What word or phrase would they search for if they were looking for my wedding invitation? So as I said before, we've got black and white. It's also a modern design. You want to think about the style. Sometimes colors are important, sometimes not. You have to be kind of you have a limit in, so you have to prioritize which tags or which keywords are the most important. So the first thing is, for keywords, you don't want to have single keywords. So, if you're looking at the title, you're going to have a phrase, right? So, and you have to understand that most people search with phrases. If you think about how you use Google, if you were searching for birthday invitations for your child, you wouldn't just search for invitation. You probably wouldn't even just search for birthday invitation. You would say 7-year-old birthday invitation or child's birthday invitation, teenager's you know what I'm saying. So you have to remember those phrases because those are important. So looking at this wedding invitation, the style is important because that's something that people will search for. They'll search for modern or boho, retro, art deco, there's so many different options. And people that's one of the things people will search for. So we can say modern. Then looking at the typography here, which is basically just the fonts. We can say there's handwritten script or and it's an elegant design. The QR code is a kind of is something that should be pointed out because more and more people are wanting QR codes in their wedding stationery. Okay, so I'm going to go up here then to the title, and I'm going to say modern. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put wedding in at the end because we do need that, just so that I don't run out of space for that. Okay, so modern, let's say elegant, elegant script, QR code, and how many letters do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we've got quite a few things left. So let's see if we can add handwritten. Yes, great. 1, 2. Okay, so now we only have one letter left, so that's fine. So modern, elegant, handwritten script, QR code, wedding, and then as soon as you click out of there, it adds the invitation on at the end. So you want to make sure that your title has those phrases that a customer might use to search for your product. Now, if you're not really sure, what you can do is, I'm just going to right click on it and open it in a new tab so we don't lose this page. So if I go here, and we're doing a wedding invitation, so I go here to the categories. Actually, I'm just going to do it easier way. Okay, so in your new window, you're just going to go to zazzle.com/best sellers. Okay, so here are the best sellers, right, of the last week. You can change the view. I'm sure we've been through that before, but what we want to do is go to refine by category, click on weddings. So this is now going to show us, it will bring up all of this stuff, which is kind of the default wedding zone in the site. But if you scroll all the way down, then you'll find the search results. Okay, so this is showing us the best sellers for the last 7 days in the weddings category. Okay, now we want to go to invitations. So let's go, just under category here. You want to go to invitations and stationery. Okay, and here again, let's go to wedding invitations. Okay, so what you want to have a look at is these circles here with the text underneath it, because those are popular styles, keywords, whatever it is you want to call it. So you can see photo invitations are popular. Boho has been popular for the last couple of years. Retro, the retro groovy 70s style is in. Minimalist is always in. Then the classic is also having a day at the moment. This year, I think it's is it Baroque or Rococo? They're very similar. That design style is said to be very popular for this year. Rustic, also sort of wood and kind of more country, rustic vibes. And then floral. So, if you're struggling for ideas for what kind of design should I do, these things will give you a good idea. So as I said, minimalist is always in style. So some of these other sort of trends like the retro and all of that, those will come and go. But minimalist designs, now unfortunately some designers don't categorize their designs well, because there's some of these that are really not minimalist, but it doesn't matter. The point is that minimalist design is always popular, because if you look at it, it's very simple. It's not, it's like putting plain white tiles in your bathroom. It's never going to go out of style. And yes, it's not especially, somebody who likes wild and crazy colors or, very creative, that's not going to appeal to them. But it certainly does appeal to the majority of people, just because it's also very flexible in terms of, the, here we go, the theme or colors that they want to have for their wedding, and black and white is always a popular choice anyway. So these, like this one, is more of a boho than a minimalist, I would say. Anyway, so sorry. Yes, my point was, minimalist is always in style. In fact, what I was going to tell you is, when I first started on Zazzle in 2018, I designed some wedding invitations, and the one that I designed it was black and white, and it had a chandelier, sort of like a graphic of a chandelier, just the black lines. And It sold couple of times, but not great. And then I got the idea to do a plain text one. So just a very, very simple, no images or graphics of any kind, just the photo of the couple, and simple text. And that thing started selling like crazy. So that's what I learned. Took me a while to figure that out. But, if I just thought about it logically, obviously something like a chandelier sort of symbol, that's a very specific niche. Whereas something that's simple text and a photo, that widens your potential customer base quite significantly. So that's something to bear in mind. I know sometimes people, I've seen people saying things like, "Oh, I have no interest." You see it in the forum or whatever. And they're like, "I have no interest in designing wedding invitations or whatever." And if you're just doing it as a hobby, fine. You do you, boo. Whatever makes you happy. But if you're wanting to make a living and make some, serious money, you need to think about what the customer is looking for. And yes, these other styles like the boho one over here, these will come and go, but invitations like this, even that's a little bit, that sort of font can go out of style. All the color ones can go out of style, although you see these ones do have color variations. But things like this one, these things are timeless. They're timeless designs. So they will sell today, they will sell next year, and they will sell 5 years from now. Whereas some of these other ones that are a little more sort of specific, this will probably always sell because it is a good design, but it's not going to be as popular as this one. And that's why you can see on why is this quite popular? That's interesting. Oh, I know why. And I wanted it to be here, best selling. You can see, if you go here, you see it says popular. So it's not showing you the best sellers. Why? Because from the bestseller page, I clicked on one of these. As soon as you click on one of these, it's not going to show you the results by bestsellers. So how you can get around that, don't get scared. It's a little bit technical, but it's really simple. So you go into the URL here, and you go click and drag all the way from $ST equals order item count _ week. That's the part you want to copy. Okay, so you just copy it, and then you come back here, and you are going to, where did we go? We clicked on minimalist. Okay, so now minimalist, it's not showing me the best sellers. All I have to do is go up to the URL at the top here, click at the end, and paste that text that I copied from the other design. So all we're doing is saying to all this question mark, the ST is just a code referring to it must sorted by bestseller. So you can copy this and paste it somewhere, just to make it easier to copy and paste. I will just generally go to because if you go to bestsellers and you change this to, actually sorry, I don't want to do it in here because I'm just going to have to go back there. So sorry, bestsellers. Okay, sorry, yeah. So we're on the bestsellers page, the default bestsellers page. So you see here you have all these options. Now as soon as, because you see here it just says zazzle.com/bestsellers. So if you come here and you change it to, instead of best-selling the last week, you want to see best-selling from the last month. Now you'll see in the URL it has added this portion of text here, and that's the part you're going to copy. So I can now click on any of these. Let's just, whatever, Mother's Day. And I can go in here. Oh, it's kept it. Interesting. Alright, sorry. Let's not worry about that. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to where we were on the wedding invitations, minimalist wedding invitations. So I'm going to click at the end of the link there and paste that little bit of code. So now you can see it's sorting them by bestsellers. So we're looking at the bestsellers for the month. Here you see budget is a popular keyword. How you do a budget invitation, I'm just going to give you the very basic way to do it. You basically have to, if I decide to, I want to open up another, let's open up another default page. And what am I trying to do? Oh Lord, brain fog. Budget, that's it. Okay, so if I go to one of these designs, and I'm going to pick a different one. So I'm going to pick this one. I think this is the one with the photo. Yeah, so this is the version we did with the photo on the back. I do highly recommend that. I don't know if I mentioned it then, is if you're going to do invitation like this one, which is just printed on one side, which I do recommend you do. I recommend you do both. So you have one that's just the design on the front, no photo, and then a version that has the photo, because someone might really like this design, but they really want a photo, or they don't want a photo on the back. So if you only have this version which has a photo on the back, that might put them off. Because also the thing you have to realize is, if you are designing plain text wedding invitations, there's a lot of competition, because as I said, that's going to give you the broadest possible market, which narrows if you start getting into colors, or more things like boho and retro and all that, art deco and whatever. So there's a much wider customer base for these kinds of designs. So give your customers as many options as you can. Do a version that doesn't have the QR code on it. Do a version that has, instead of the image on the back, it has the additional details. For those of you who don't know, often with a wedding invitation, they will include a details card, which gives you information on things like dress code, whether children are allowed or not, any accommodation arrangements for out-of-town guests, RSVP instructions for online RSVP, etc. So those are usually done as separate cards, which I do recommend you also do. But what you can do as well, which is fairly popular, is instead of having a photo on the back or having it blank, is you put all of those details on the back, and it's called an all-in-one invitation. So you can, go Google that, or have a look on Zazzle for the all-in-ones. But it just means that the customer can save a bit of money, because instead of having to pay for each invitation plus an enclosure card, they can put all of those details on the back. So that is a budget option. But another budget option is if you go to, you see where it says transfer design to a product. So we've got the invitation. Now I want to transfer it onto a budget option. So I'm going to click on that, and it brings us to the where you can choose the blank product you want to transfer your design onto. I'm just going to search for paper, because the one we want, flat paper sheet. So I'm going to look, if I remember correctly, there isn't a 5" by 7" one. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so what you're doing is putting this on a different product that is cheaper. I think it's generally that size. Well, that is the most popular one. I think that might be the one. So you'll see it automatically takes the design and puts it onto the product you've selected, which is great. But you can see, the spacing is not great, because obviously this is a different size. Your standard wedding invitation, or any kind of invitation, is 5" by 7". You can see it's marked as bestseller, so that is the most popular size. There are a bunch of other sizes, but this is the most popular. So these are 180 per card, right? Now if you go here, you can see that these are 112. Now it says per sheet. Now the first thing I worried about when I saw this as a budget option is, well, what is the difference in, is this like a piece of paper that you put in your printer? How flimsy is it? So what you do is you just scroll down to about and whatever the product's name, and you'll see all the basic details. And one of the details, oh god, of course it doesn't have it here. Is it under here? No, that's strange. Okay, but you don't have to worry, because the point is it's the same thickness as the invitation cards. So it is a good quality. I had one, and a customer gave a review where she was basically saying, like, she was thrilled and so happy, and she doesn't even understand it doesn't look budget, but it really is just the price that is different, and I assume it has to do with the size, because like I said, the normal size is 5" by 7". So you can see this one is a bit smaller. So you'll probably have to adjust your spacing and sizing just to make it fit nicely on the other product. So you can see here already there's a problem. You see that little yellow circle. So I'm going to scroll over here in the left hand side and scroll over that. So it says this QR code is too small and may not scan properly. So that already is one of the things we have to fix because of the different size. Because when you transfer design onto a new product, Zazzle's tool will kind of automatically get it to fit. But in order to get it to fit on this one, because it's a smaller size page, it's made everything smaller. So this QR code is now too small. It won't work. So you kind of have to, there we go. So let me just see if I can take it. Sorry, if you're not sure what I'm doing, if you mouse over one of the 4 squares, the 8 squares around the QR code, those little white squares, as soon as you mouse over one, it turns into a double-headed arrow, and then you can click and drag. So if I drag it much smaller, that yellow circle comes back, mouse over, and then drag it a little bit, not enough, and again, now it's perfect. Okay, so that was the first thing. Now we maybe want to make the text a bit wider here. So just drag this until we see the green line that tells us we're in. There we go. So these are now both the same length. We do it again on the other side. Okay, and we're going to do the same here. So you understand the point I'm making, just about checking the sizing. So I'm not going to continue to do it, but that's basically what you need to do. And then look, you might need to move items down. So I'm just going to click and drag this stuff down a bit, center align it again. Okay, and I'm going to move these down a little bit as well, because you don't want your design going too close to the edges on any side. It doesn't look professional. So like I said, you'll adjust the spacing and the sizing until you feel it looks right. If this is something you're not sure of, because if you have never designed anything before, and you haven't learned any of the sort of tips and tricks, and you don't have a natural eye for it. Some people have a natural eye for it, like I have a sister who does. She can't design to save her life, but she can look at a design and she knows when it's off. It doesn't look right. She doesn't necessarily know how to fix it, but she can say that doesn't look right, and that's something you either just have or you don't. But if you don't have it, you can still learn. So I had to learn this because I had done graphic design as part of my job, but it was for websites, and obviously designing websites is very different to print design. So I had to learn a lot of things. So how do you learn? Well, one of the ways is to go to the bestsellers and have a look at them. Very important not to copy it, because you can lose your store. But just to learn, look at spacing, look at alignment, have a look at what are the popular, the most popular designs. How are they spaced? Are they centered? Are they left aligned? There are all kinds of things that you can look at. And what's interesting is to go look at the fonts. So if we just click on that one, and we know this is a bestseller, so they're doing something right. So we go into the edit using design tool, and now you can see the fonts and font sizes that they've used, also the line spacing, the letter spacing. So it's very useful to look at. As I said, not so that you can go and copy it, but let's say you like the way the names look here. So you've seen, okay, it's the Cormoran font and it's a 0.2 letter spacing. So that's something you can use in a design. It won't look like this. You'll use different fonts for these things. Your alignment, all of that's going to be different, but you borrowed just this font and the font size and the font spacing because you like it. You can also see a little bit more about how they've spaced it. It's not all in one block, but it's also not a lot of, like, the address is not sort of a bold thing, whereas you'll find on some of the other ones the address is kind of made to stand out. This one is not as bold, but it's a completely different layout here of the date. The date is kind of separated. It is it stands out against the rest of the text because of the way it's formatted. So this is basically what you need to do, is have a look at how other people are doing it. Have a look what kind of combinations of fonts. So we can see they've got a uppercase serif font here. They've got lowercase italicized text for the sort of minor text, and then there's this script in here just for the word and then there's the sans serif script for the date and time, and also the reception info. So you can just start to learn, and you can see, okay, this one has the script, but the rest of it is serif, all caps, uppercase serif, and italicized serif. So you can start to see the trends, and you can start to see what kinds of fonts look nice together, how much space do I leave between them. You can see, obviously, you look at the spacing here versus here, very different. So these are things that you just need to experiment with, try different things, publish them. That's the other thing. You might come up with a design and you're like, I don't know, I don't like it, there's something wrong with it. Publish it. Every time I have thought about not publishing a product and then just gone ahead and published it, it's always sold. And there are still some products in my stores that sell on a regular basis, and I have no idea why, because the designs are freaking awful. So, there's no accounting for taste. People have different tastes, they like different things. And, sometimes you look at the stuff in the bestsellers and you might think, like, I can't design like that. Well, you don't have to, because there are people who don't like that sort of look. There are people who will look at this wedding invitation and fall in love with it. And there are people who will look at it and go, blech, that's awful, I hate it. So, publish all your designs. You can always reassess a few months later to see if you should keep it, or maybe you should just chuck it. All right, but sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's go back to the publishing process. Okay, so we've done the title. We've used as many, almost as many letters as we could, because that's also important. You don't just want to put wedding invitation here. Use the character allowance that you have to use the important keywords and phrases. Alright, so the next thing you have to do is you have to select the department. Now, wedding things will always go in a wedding, in the wedding department. If this was a birthday invitation, I would then click on the invitations and stationery. Yeah. Okay, so now description. Now this is where ChatGPT is your best friend on earth. So you need a description, but in the old days with ChatGPT, old days like last year, you had to type in a description in ChatGPT. So you would have to say, white invitation, wedding invitation with black text, combination of this kind of font, a nightmare. Because most of the time I use ChatGPT because I've got severe brain fog and words are a problem. I struggle with it a lot. So having to type into ChatGPT a basic description of the product, I mean, that's the whole reason I need ChatGPT, is because I can't do that. So this is where ChatGPT is fantastic. So first thing we're going to do now is we're going to go to the change options, and it brings up the previews. And when you mouse over the picture on the right, you'll see that double-headed arrow comes up. So it's going to show you the larger view. So now that you're here, what you want to do is take a screenshot. So most laptops, it'll be the print screen button, which is at the top where the F buttons are. So you just click on the print screen. It might take a picture of the whole screen, or you might get what I had there, which is I click on I press the print screen button, and it brings up, you see this tiny little thing here, and it's got a camera, and it says snip. It's also got a video camera, and then this thing, which is where you can tell it you want a free, we're not going to worry about that. You basically want to set it to rectangle. So what it does is, you can see wherever I go on the screen, there's that crosshairs cursor. So what that does is it allows you to click and drag anywhere to take a screenshot. So if I go like that, the grayed out area around it won't be in the screenshot. Anything that's in the bright area, that's the screenshot. So you just click and drag until you have what you need, and then you let go, and it automatically, you'll see here it says screenshot copied to clipboard. So all you have to do then is go into ChatGPT. You can have a free account, you don't have to have a paid account to get this done. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a paid account, but you don't have to in order to use this. So this is a new, you do have to sign up for an account in order to be able to upload images, but it's a free account. So all you do is you come into ChatGPT. Because I just copied it and it said it's copied to the clipboard, all I have to do is press the Control button and V to paste, and you can see it's busy loading the image there. I click on it and I can see the image. Just click the X to take it away. Okay, so now we just have to say to ChatGPT, write a product description for this. I'm not even going to say wedding, it knows it's a wedding. Or I could probably even just say write a product description. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so you can see here it's given a title as well. The only problem is it's given us bullets. So this is what's always going to happen when you ask ChatGPT for a product description. The only issue is on Zazzle, we don't have bullets. It's just a single paragraph of text. So what you can do then is you can tell ChatGPT, make it a single paragraph with no bullets, and then it will, redo it. There's also a character limit. I'm just going to close that here and say, oops, cancel to go back here. Now I've forgotten. Oh Lord. Oh yeah, it was about the character limit. No, there's no character limit here. There's a character limit for the title, and there's a character limit for the tags. Well, I say there's no character limit. I've certainly never had a problem running out of characters. Okay, so let's go back to the description. Now, you can sit and explain to ChatGPT that this is what I need or whatever, or you can make your life easier and go on the left here to explore GPTs. Then it brings up this thing where you can search. All you're going to do is search for Zazzle. Whoops. Okay, hit enter. Alright, so here you have a whole bunch of Zazzle related tools. Okay, reading them, you can see this one auto generates full SEO, that stands for search engine optimization, SEO rich Zazzle listings from images with precision and blah blah blah. So and you can see there are other ones here. This one gives you suggestions. This one also does listings, basically what we're doing now, the product details. And yeah, that's the one I also mentioned before. This little number here, you can see how many people are using this particular GPT. So what is a custom GPT? What are we talking about? If I click on this one, because it seems to be the most popular one, I click on it. So it tells me here, this auto generates blah blah blah. We already read that, and we can see the number of reviews. Most of them are 5-star, and all you do then is click on Start Chat. So now it's brought us to you can see here Zazzle listing agent. You can also see at the top left here that this is the GPT you're using. If you click on here and you want to start a new one, you can do that. But I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail about ChatGPT. Alright, so I'm going to come here and again I'm going to paste that screenshot of the wedding invitation. Now I should not have to type any of that nonsense about, write a product description. I should just be able to click that up arrow. Here we go. So essentially what these custom GPTs under Explore GPTs, what they are is somebody has essentially trained ChatGPT to complete a specific task. So in this case, someone has trained ChatGPT to give you a description for your product when you upload an image. So instead of you having to explain that yourself, somebody else has done it for you. And what's nice is most of them will also give you a suggestion for the title and suggestions for the tags. Now the tags are problematic, which we'll get to when we discuss tags, but for now we're just going to copy the description. So I'm just going to click and drag here and just copy that description. Okay, go back to the product and I'm going to paste it here. Alright, now what I want to do, it's put these lines, if you put lines in, if there are paragraph breaks in the original text, it will put them here, but you won't see it like that on the product page. So I'm just going to remove those paragraph breaks so we can have it all in one. Okay. So now what you want to do is just read through what ChatGPT has given you. Sometimes it misunderstands. If you we'll do it in a sec. So you just need to make sure, just read through it and make sure it's accurate. Sometimes it'll give you a description where it mentions the people's names, which obviously is absurd. So you will have to sort of just edit that. But from a brain fog perspective, especially if you like me and you struggle with words and also typing, ChatGPT honestly changed my life. I literally still have about 7,000 designs sitting in my, where you go to your saved designs. So these are the designs you haven't published yet. So you'll see that design, somebody else's design that we looked at, will also appear here. So if you've changed information on someone else's design, or you've opened up the design tool to have a look at it, it will appear here, just in case that's a product that you were actually trying to order and you got interrupted. So it's a nice thing that customers, if they for whatever reason they get distracted, they have to go, they can't finish their purchase, they can come to their products tab and they will find your product, with their changes on it. Anyway, so I'm just going to delete that one. That's what I usually do, just to try and keep it oh Lord, just to try and keep it under control. Like I said, this is 9. I have 7,000. It's over 7,000, because what would happen to me was I find the designing very easy, whereas a lot of reading or sort of kind of logical thinking can make me very nauseous, and the brain fog just gets really severe, and I just can't, the brain just is not cooperating at all. But I can still design It's obviously using a different part of the brain, and maybe that part of my brain is not as damaged as the, logical thinking, coming up with words part of the brain. But as a result, I've got over 7,000 products that I have not published yet, because what I would do was just design, and it was like, okay, I can't even come up with a title, much less a product description, and the tags, I can't do it. So I'll just go on to design something else so that I'm still being productive, and then I'll have to go back and add, titles and descriptions and publish it when I'm able. But of course, I've never done it. So, I'm trying a little bit at a time to go back through those designs, because I've found some nice designs in there. So, yeah. My point is, ChatGPT really makes it so much simpler. So, as I said, you copy and you paste in here, and you want to check it. For example, one of my pet peeves with ChatGPT is, like, 8 out of 10 product descriptions has the word adorn somewhere in it. And it kind of, like, I get a little twitch when I see it, because it's, nobody says the word adorn. When last did you ever hear anyone in the middle of conversation say the word adorn? It's ugh. And so it just smacks of marketees, sales talk. Yeah, it's icky. So I will always check for that and remove the word adorn. But yeah, so just go through it and see if it's accurate. And also, what you want to look at is, as I said, those you think about the words and phrases that people will use to search for your product. You need to make sure that those phrases are in the description, because essentially what a search engine does is, I search for modern wedding invitation, and now that search engine has goes looking through its archives of, okay, what can we show her that is going to be what she's looking for, that she's going to click on it. Because that's the whole point of a search engine, is you want to make sure that you're getting accurate results when you click on something. So yes, so what Google, all search engines do, is they will look at the title on your page, which in this case, when we publish a product, you'll see there's a title. Then the description, they will also look through that to see, this person has searched for modern wedding invitation. Does this page offer what she's looking for? So where's it going to look? It's going to look in the title. So it already sees, okay, there's modern, there's wedding invitation. So, okay, check. Let's see. You have a look in here. So you also want to have some of these phrases. And because it's a paragraph, it's, you have the advantage of you can do different variations. You see here it says minimalist wedding invitation. That's a great, they call it a long tail keyword, but it's basically just a phrase, and phrases are far superior to individual keywords, because I could, when it comes to tags, so we're going to talk about tags in a minute, but I could use individual words, but that's not going to help me. You need phrases like that people are searching for. People search for minimalist wedding invitation. QR code, another phrase. Like here you can see, okay, ideal for weddings, garden weddings, modern space. You can figure out from your description what tags you can use. Now, all right, let me not talk about tags till we get there. Okay, so you do want to read through this and just make sure that it's accurate and it has the phrases you want to have in it. Then you go to categories. Oh, sorry, no. Here, merchandising. So this is where I went just now to have a larger view of the image. But this is where you can specify the merchandising options that you want on the product page. So what does that mean? You click on change options, and this shows you what your current selections are for all of these things. So you can change which view you want. Maybe you want that one where it's, you know, in front of the little vase there. And then if you say OK over here at the bottom right, you click on OK, there it's changed the so on the product page, this is the image that will show first, and in search results that's what's going to show. So that's the one thing you can do in this, you know, using this change options button. The other thing is you can change the size if you want. I don't recommend doing that from in here, because as we saw a little bit earlier with the when we transferred the design from a 5" by 7" invitation to a whatever it was, 4 point whatever, you know, sizes change and you can have problems. So don't do it from in here, because you can't look, you can go in there, but it's just easier to rather get that stuff done before you hit the sell it button. Okay, so you can change that. You can also change the corner style. Now you can see here that little fire icon, it's trending. That's a very popular thing at the moment. You can also see underneath these things what how much extra it's going to cost, or how much less sometimes. The same with the paper. So I always choose the cheapest paper, because you want this price to be as low as possible. Because if you like pick the, you know, fanciest paper, which might make your invitation look fabulous, but you know it's costing the customer you know $1.15 more per invitation. So always pick the cheapest option there. People will upgrade if they want something specific. You know, the same with the printing process. Leave it on standard. Add logo to the back of the card. Make sure that's not checked. You don't want Zazzle's logo on the back of someone's wedding invitation. So corner styles you can change here. So, you know, if we change it there, you can see, you know, to see a larger one, once again, you just scroll, mouse over the image. And, oh yeah, I completely forgot what we were looking at, the rounded corners. So the rounded corners are an extra 19 cents per invitation. So it's not a huge difference. So it's something you can do, because what you've got to remember is not every customer on Zazzle knows that Zazzle has all of these options that they can choose, because a lot of people think Zazzle is exactly like Etsy, which it's not. So they might see this image in the search results and they're like, oh, but I really want a round one. Now, most of them, I'm sure, will at least go onto the page, even if it's to maybe, you know, contact you to say, I'd like rounded corners, or I'd like one of these boho arch things, which are also quite popular at the moment. If you're starting out with wedding invitations now, I would recommend doing quite a few of these, because this was only introduced recently. This year, I don't remember exactly when, but it was this year. So the marketplace, as Zazzle calls their website, the marketplace is not flooded with these, and they're very popular. So yeah, it's a good idea to look at maybe doing some of these shape designs. Anyway, so you can see all of the options that you see on the product page. So, you know, you'll see all of these things. Where are we? Okay. What is this now? It's an invitation. Why is it not? Sorry. Something weird. I wonder. I don't know. All right. Let me. I'll test when we finish this process. Okay. So, as I said, you can go and change any of those options there. Just be careful with it. And then sell this design on. This allows you to limit what variations the customer can put the product on. Now, you don't want to use this unless there's an issue where, and you wouldn't really have this with a wedding invitation that's all text, but there are some products where the sizes or the shapes are very different. For example, there are let's say ornaments, Christmas tree ornaments. There are some that are heart-shaped, there are others that are round, there's some that are square. Now, design that works on a round ornament isn't going to work most likely on a heart-shaped ornament. So sometimes you want to limit it because you don't want customers to, because once they click on that, the whole thing looks weird, and it can just cause confusion. So if there is a design and there's a product where the variations they're just too different, my design is never going to be able to just look great on any option they choose, then you can limit it here. So you can say this size only. So in other words, they can't put it on a smaller or a larger page. The size and shape. So if we look here, these are the shapes. So if you say here, you say only this size and this shape, it means that if someone opens up your product here, they're not going to have any of these options. It will just have the squared one, and there's no other option, because you've said you've said limited to this size and shape only. There's also this option, this paper type. You should never be using that. And then this size and shape and paper type, no. Now it's this attribution setting. This is the little Zazzle logo on the back. So, oh gosh, I'm sorry. You don't have to worry about that because you will have already switched it off, and if a customer wants to, they can. But yeah, so for wedding invitations, 99.9% of the time you're gonna go for all options. Then you scroll down and you click on events and occasions. So this is a wedding. So you'll see if you click on expressions, I don't often use these, but there are options here. Then all the different holidays. So if it was a Christmas card or a Easter invitation or whatever, you would select the holiday here. But weddings are under occasions. So here, anniversaries, and if you click on baby and expecting, baby showers, new baby, pregnancy. So there's all kinds of, occasions. There's even a divorce one, graduations, etc. We're going to go obviously to weddings at the bottom. Just a note while we're here, sympathy is where you put any sort of funeral stuff. That's the only real category for it. And that's where everyone puts theirs. Okay, so you click on weddings and engagements, then it's got all the different functions around it. We click on wedding again, and if you scroll down there, invitations. So you click on OK, and then you'll see the category you just selected. That helps Zazzle when people go through the categories, that your product is in the right category. Because if it's not correctly categorized, you could have your wedding invitation show up in shoes if you haven't paid attention to that. By default, there's nothing there, so you don't have to worry if you forget to put it in that it's going to be somewhere strange. It is using this for the actual product, where it appears in the product categories, but in search, this information also comes into play. So for weddings, you fill that in, and then for recipient, I always just make it for anyone and any person. Now, obviously, if this was a bridal shower invitation, you would select for her and bride. I try not to be too specific with this because, for example, if you're talking about a bridal shower invitation, the question becomes, well, is the bride who it's for, or is it for the guests? It gets into a gray area there. So I just always put for anyone, any person, unless it really is catered specifically to, men, women, children, pets, grandparents, and newlyweds, etc. You do have those. But for wedding invitations, I always just put any person, for anyone, any person, and okay. And then what happens is now you have to choose the category in your store. So you can see here it says new products. That's just going to be a default that you will have in your store, just so that it has somewhere to put your products. But if you go to change, it will show you what categories you have. So you can see the only one we have is that new products, because that's a default. So I'm just going to click OK. Now I can say clear. So clear is just going to remove the store category, and now it's not in any category. So once again, once I've cleared it, I can either select one or create a new one. So I'm going to click on new, and I'm going to call it, I'm just going to say wedding invitations. Because especially in the beginning, like I have said before, I really do encourage you to, when you're starting out with your store, experiment with a bunch of different things. We discussed naming your store, so that you can adapt to whatever products you're most successful with. So in that case, I'm putting wedding invitations. I'm not going to select a category because I don't want it to go under. If I go like that, then it's going to be, you're going to have to click on the new products folder, and then you'll see the wedding invitations folder. We don't want that, so I'm just going to clear it. So this is going to be its own category. Okay. You can hide a category. I don't really think I've ever used that. And the images, we'll talk about it at another stage. Okay, so, but that's fine. That's all you need to do is the category name, and you just got to check that it's in the right category. It's going to be in the right parent category. All right, click edit category, and so now you'll see under store category it says wedding invitations. That's the category I just created. So all three categories are done. Collections will come to at a later stage. You don't have to worry about that. You can see the fields marked with the little red star are required fields. You can see you have to select a store category. You don't have to select these ones, but I do highly recommend you do for search engine purposes. So yeah, you can see which ones are the critical ones that you have to fill in. So going back here, now we get to tags. Now there's this tips for tagging, which I do recommend you read. I also do recommend you read the tagging page and the no spam policy. But basically what it boils down to is these tags are those keywords and phrases that customers are going to use to find your store. So it's stuff that you couldn't fit in here because you can't fit all the applicable phrases in here. You're limited. And this is just a condensed, the whole purpose of it is it's for the search. Where you will see it on somebody else's page, it's not something that's sort of considered part of the product page, but that's why it's right at the bottom. And you'll see here tags. Don't worry about the difference between these two. It's just got to do with, it doesn't matter. It's the same list of keywords. I'm sure we also covered this, where you can see when a design was created, which is very useful if somebody copies one of your designs and you need to report it. Okay, so we can see here this person. Can you see how they've just put individual words? This is not, the only phrase they have is salmon pink, because you think about it, somebody is not just going to search Google or on Zazzle for just the word floral, or just flowers, or just spring, or just summer. They're going to search, if they're looking, if they're going to be interested in this product, they might be searching for, pink floral shoes, for example. They're not searching just for one of those words. So this was kind of the old school way of doing keywords. And, I think if you don't understand, you don't know anything about search engine optimization, you would probably do this where it's just individual words, but that's not what you want to do. So what you want to do is, again, use the phrases. So when I talk about the phrases, where was that? Sorry, I don't know where it was. No, it's not there. Where did I close the sorry all. I must have closed the best-selling thing. Why am I wanting that now? Oh Lord, this is what happens. I wanted to show you what. Oh yes. Bestsellers. Where are the best? There we go. No. Bestsellers. Come on. Okay. So to get ideas for what sort of phrases, as I said, we go to the best-selling wedding items, and we're going to keep scrolling till we get to the product list, and we're going to go there and go invitations and stationery. And then you can start to look at these things. What is popular? Floral is always popular. Wildflowers, that's more of a kind of a, comes and goes. Blush pink is always popular. Rustic bridal shower, boho, country, and champagne. So these are words. Now remember, this is not just invitations, this is invitations and stationery. So that champagne might not actually be like a theme. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so the important thing you want to look at is these things here. So for example, if you were doing a bridal shower invitation that had, a rustic look, whether it's, wood and string lights or whatever, then rustic bridal shower, you know that's a phrase that you need to put in your tags. So you can have a look at these. You would generally combine them if possible. So obviously floral and wildflowers, those are both, if you have wildflowers, they're floral. If you are looking for floral, wildflowers are also floral. So you can have a phrase that says floral wildflowers. That's also a good, because that means if someone's looking for floral or they're looking for wildflowers, they'll or if they they'll be able to find it. Sorry, my mouth is so dry. Okay. All right, so yes, sorry, back to our tags. You have to, you have a maximum of 10 tags. It is required, so you need to have at least one tag. I highly recommend you get as close to 10 as you can. I'm pretty much, I'd say 99% of my products, I've either got 9 or 10 tags. So yes, and then each tag can only be 500, and I mean 50, a maximum of 50 characters. So it's 10 tags, a maximum of 50 characters per tag, and you have to have at least one, but I highly recommend 10. Okay, so how do you do tags? As I said, I do recommend going to read up on the information, which will give you more details, but I'm just going to cover the essentials and kind of the tips. You can see here that one of the things it says is use descriptive words relating to the subject, theme, color, style, etc. So as I said, you think about the customer. The bride has ideas for themes, she's been on Pinterest and whatever, so now she wants to see some rustic boho wedding invitations. Now obviously that's not this one, but for this one you maybe would have, I'm going to say modern minimalist wedding invitation. Okay, when you've finished typing your phrase or word, you put in the comma, and what that does is tells the tool that this is a phrase. So if I click add tag, there we go, it's put the whole thing as a phrase. If you just type the words individually and you don't put the comma in, even though you mean this as a phrase, what happens is it gets added as separate words. So the comma is how you tell it where the where one phrase ends and the next one begins. Okay, so going back to ChatGPT and the tags it gave us. So one of the things you can see here is minimalist wedding invitation, modern wedding invite, black and white wedding card, simple elegant wedding. That is considered spam because you are using the same word over and over again in every single tag, and that's called spamming. So you can't repeat the same word, and the tool won't let you repeat the exact same word or phrase. So if I go here and I copy this and I want to paste it again with the comma at the end and I click add, nothing happens because I already have, you can't have duplicate tags. So going back to this, you can't have wedding in every single one of your 10 tags. So I generally don't ask ChatGPT for the tags. In fact, what I must do, I created my own GPT for product descriptions, and it doesn't have tags or a title. It literally just gives you that. But that's perfect for me. I upload a photo and I don't have to tell it to do anything. Just upload a photo, click that up arrow button, and it gives me this. So that's great. I will share the link with you. Maybe you guys can try it. Try a few different ones and see which one or ones you like. Okay, so sorry. We have done that. We were looking at the tags. Okay, so as I said, this is not great. You're going to get into trouble not just with Zazzle but also with Google, because Google is like, I see exactly what you're doing here. You're trying to, way down the scale so that, anybody searching for any wedding, anything is going to come here, and we know what you're up to, and you can't do that. It's called keyword stuffing. So we don't want to stuff any keywords. So instead what I try to do is whatever the product is, so wedding invitation, I try to include that in the first tag. So that's why this one I said modern minimalist wedding invitation. Then I will not put the phrase wedding invitation again. Maybe if I have a very good reason, I might do it a second time, but there's obviously the words that come before it, or maybe even there'll be words of, it'll be a different phrase. but just don't repeat the same words across all of your tags. So, this one with the tags might be better for you starting out, because you might need some guidance, because this will give you some ideas of tags to use. As I said, I used to do this for a living, so I don't need it to generate the tags or the title. I just want the description. So that's why that's all my GPT does. But I will share it with you, because maybe some of you will prefer that option. Anyway, okay, so back to tags. Minimalist, wedding invitation, we've used that. We put modern in front of it as well. So that's already those words taken care of. Let's keep going. So now we can see that you can use the word invite as a substitute for invitation, which means we can now include invite without keyword stuffing the word invitation. Then the next phrase is black and white wedding card. So that we don't have. Let's copy that. But now the only thing I might change is I would actually put invite there, because card could be a greeting card, like a card you give the couple. So no. I don't think I mentioned each phrase can only be up to 5 words long. As soon as you have more, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's fine. I've put the comma at the end to tell it that's one tag. There we go. But if I did that already. If I try to add more text, like that'll probably give me a problem. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now there's 6 words in that phrase. If I try to add it, it tells you each tag has to be 5 words or less. So it doesn't have to be 5 words, but I do strongly recommend that you make sure all of your tags are at least 2 words long. Really, because as I said to you, customers are not coming searching for one word, unless it's something like skateboard. Zazzle has skateboards. But even then, I feel like they're probably searching for a specific color or a certain design style, so I don't think there really is ever a reason to have just one keyword on its own. The only thing is you have to make sure that these phrases are phrases that make sense. So just creating a phrase that's like black minimalist invitation modern, it's not an actual phrase. It's just you've stuffed a whole bunch of, you've stuffed 5 different words into one tag. That's also considered spamming, and you could be penalized for that. So I just feel like, rather avoid potential, because it's not like you're going to know. Google isn't going to send you an email to tell you, listen, your tags, we're penalizing you for this, that, and the other. So I say rather follow the rules than not follow the rules and potentially lose customers because, you're not showing up, in the search. So, okay. So we've got 2 examples here. Modern minimalist wedding invitation, black and white wedding invite. So you can see I've used wedding twice. That's fine, but I mustn't keep using it. So let's go back to ChatGPT's keyword suggestions. So I like the simple, even though it's the same as minimalist, it could be a different word somebody is looking for. So we've got simple, elegant, wedding typography, wedding invitation. So typography is a great word. I'm just going to copy all the way to there, but I'm not going to include the wedding word again. So I'm going to paste that, put the comma in at the end, remove this comma here, so it's all one phrase. I'm actually removing that word. So simple, elegant typography. Somebody might not search for simple, elegant typography, but they could search for simple and elegant, or, elegant typography. So, you're catering for a couple of options, because 10 keywords is not 10 tags is not a lot. So, yes, all right. So, what have we covered now? We've covered modern minimalist, that it's a wedding, it's an invitation, the colors, the typography. What else is there? Let's go back to get some ideas from ChatGPT. So it said chic wedding stationery, formal wedding invite, clean wedding design, classic wedding invitation, customizable wedding invite, elegant wedding announcement, wedding dinner and dancing, QR code wedding invite. So that we haven't put in there, the QR code. So let's go in here, and just thinking about QR code, what is someone likely to search for with QR code if they're in the market for a wedding invitation? It's probably going to be wedding invitation. But now we've used invitation and we've used invite, so I'm actually just going to leave it like that. Now you can see I've used wedding 3 times, but it's in very different contexts. It's surrounded by different words. This is invitation, that's invite. This is QR code wedding, so it's a completely different thing. So, I can't say to you, you can have, you can repeat the same word across 5 tags, 8 tags, 3 tags. I don't know where that limit is. I just know that if you put wedding in every single tag, that's a problem for the search engine. So you kind of just have to go with what you think you can, that you think will work, and you can test different options. So, make a note of the tags that you put in here, and then you create a very similar design, or even the exact same design, but you just create a second one, and on that one you put different tags, so that you can then see, based on the views and the sort of interactions with that product, you can then see which tags are working for you. But I personally haven't done that. All I do is what I'm explaining to you now, and that's it. Could I do more? Absolutely. I mean, there are tools that will tell you all sorts of stuff about, which keywords and which phrases and all that sort of stuff, but I really don't feel that it's necessary. It's yes, there's a lot that can go into it. There are companies where all they do is search engine optimization, so it's not a simple thing. But as long as you sort of keep to the rules in general, you can stretch it a little bit. But like I said, don't put the same word. If you go to their, I think it's on their no spam policy, or it might be on the tagging page, or both, where it mentions using the same words over and over and over again. Also, plurals are not considered a separate word. So if I put invitations in another tag, it's Google and Zazzle are going to see that as the same word. So it's going to count against me. If I put wedding invitation, and let's say I do wedding invitation, that phrase 3 times across 3 different tags, and then I try to do another 3 tags with wedding invitations, even though the word is technically different, it means the same thing, and so it will then be counted as you've got wedding invitation 6 times in 6 of your tags. So yeah, just you kind of want to find that balance between not spamming and getting in the phrases that are most likely for people to be using to search. Sorry, I know that was really dramatically horrifying, but yeah, words. So yes, you want to try and find that balance, but it's really, unless you're going to do like basically what this collection, that would very obviously get you into trouble. Because as I said, the wedding is an invite is also, it's just a lot of repetition. That's why I don't use ChatGPT for tags, because I also try to explain. I copied the rules from Zazzle site into the ChatGPT, and it just couldn't get it right. So that's why my GPT doesn't have a thing for tags. But tags, you'll get a feel for them as you go. You'll start to which ones you need to put on there. So we were looking. Okay, we've used elegant already. Formal we didn't use. Chic we didn't use yet, so we can say chic, formal, or chic, classic. Just seeing if there are any others. Yeah, timeless, chic, and classic design. No, I want to put the QR code first. So, did we do the QR code? Yes, we did. Okay, sorry. So let's go then to the types of wedding. Where's it? Formals. We've got chic, formal. Let's put stylish. I don't know if the word is in there, but that's a popular one. So, formal and stylish, comma at the end, and then let's remove the stuff we don't need. So I think we're going to take those out. Formal, stylish. Oh, I really want to put the word wedding in there, but yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, by the way, when I say, you need to put phrases, don't feel that like, okay, well, if I was searching for this wedding invitation, I would search for black and white, modern minimalist wedding invitation. And feel like, oh, no, I can't fit that whole phrase in there, so then people who search for minimalist black and white wedding invitation isn't going to find this. No. All of the tags work. The search engine looks at all of the tags, and if you have multiple tags that meet the searcher's requirements, so I use the example minimalist black and white wedding invitation, so it's going to the search bot is going to see, oh, okay, she's got minimalist wedding invitation. Okay, so that's a check mark. Oh, and here's black and white wedding invite as well. So, okay, this person is searching for minimalist black and white wedding invitation. We can definitely show her this product. Okay, chic, formal, and stylish. I'm going to put that in. Those kinds of ones I generally leave until last, because I'm kind of, I don't know how many people are really searching for these words. For wedding invitations. It's possible, but I don't think it's the majority. Then the other thing I wanted to say, okay, I'll figure out what that other one was, but you can also put non-photo text only. So that people do know, okay, because some people really don't want photos, and photos are very popular, which means most invitations have photos. So when you're looking for a non-photo or text only design, those are the words you're kind of likely to use. Then, okay, where were we? Now, one other important thing, and I'm not sure why it's not showing it to me there, because it usually does, but we'll see it when I publish it, is that all invitations as long as you choose invitation when you choose, you know, your paper type. Where is it? Yes. So when you choose what kind of product you're going to put your design on, you need to make sure that it is an invitation. It must say invitation in the product name. So weird. Where is it? Invitations. Scroll down a bit more. Strange. Oh Lord, life's too short for this. Where's the search? Say invitation. Thank you. Okay, so there's the foil invitation. We will get to that maybe. No, I think I'm going to do the how to design with graphics next, and then maybe after that we can look at foil, how you work with foil designs, because that's really nice. And there's a huge range of things that they offer with foil. There's artwork, wall art that can have foil on it, and invitations, announcement cards, etc. Okay, but we're not looking for the foil one. We're looking for 7, because you're looking for the one that says 5x7 in flat invitation card. It's so weird that it's not coming up. Usually it comes up first, unless I'm being particularly brain fogged. Sorry, give me a sec. Why is it not here? That is so weird. Sorry. Bizarre. Okay, sorry. What am I trying to? Oh, yes, that it must say invitation. Why? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I just had to film, because otherwise who knows when I'm gonna have another semi-functional brain day. So I'm gonna power through this. I'm sorry. I know it's probably annoying. Okay, we were busy with tags. Oh, okay. So, oh yes, what I always add on at the end of ChatGPT's description for invitations, only invitations, is available as printed cards or an instant digital download. Okay, why do I put that? It's very important because Zazzle, thank the Lord, last year I think, maybe the year before, I don't even know, they started selling the digital versions of invitations. So you publish your product, and the person, when they go to your product page, can choose whether they want printed, or if they want the digital download version, or if they want both. So that's why I always add this, because a lot of the times people are definitely looking for either one or the other, and if they're looking for printed cards, they're it's not like you. Oh gosh, sorry, I know I was going to go down a whole other rabbit hole. Doesn't matter. The important point is, it's important to put this in here, because that can be something that is a critical thing. Because if you want printed cards, you're not interested in digital, or if you want digital, you're not interested in print. So it's important to know that both are available. So again, comma at the end, and now I need to take some words out because that's too many. So what I would do is say printed cards or digital download. So that's 5 words, so that's going to be fine. We've got 7 out of 10, so we can put another 2 or 3 in. Maybe we can do garden. Oh yeah, you see, I wouldn't like this. I think this is why I ended up making my own my own GPT. I don't like this as the creator. I envision the design. Blah, blah, blah. I just don't like that stuff. So mine does not say that. So I would delete that. Look, it's obviously up to you. If you're happy for that, that's you know, you do you, boo. Whatever works for you. I just don't like it. Displayed alongside matching RSVP cards or save the dates for a Keith's event, that's fine. And then the all important part at the end. So I just, you know, you go through again and see which keywords or phrases you can put together. Something like serif or sans serif fonts, I don't ever put in, because that's not something somebody will search for. You know, they're not going to search for serif fonts or sans serif. However, script, handwritten script in particular, that is definitely a style choice that a lot of people like. So I will always put here, I will add in handwritten. So I'll make sure that it's that's a phrase. Handwritten script font. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it in here. There we go. Oh no, I messed that up. That's because I put a full stop instead of a comma. Okay. Sorry, where are we? 8. Sometimes, 8 is also okay. So if you can't come up with anything else, it's fine, you don't have to. You know, I might put, we haven't had wedding for a while, so I'm going to do it again. Wedding wedding website link. Okay, a lot of people are having websites for their weddings, so that is a good one. And then, what was the other one? Oh, online RSVP, because having that QR code at the bottom, that will usually always lead to the wedding website, and that's where people who are having online RSVPs will have that information. So yes, online RSVP will also be, or could also be, a keyword. So now I've got 10, I can't add any more. It's telling me 245 of 500 characters used, so that's just like, that was a long phrase. I don't think you could get much more you know, in there. I'll just do it to show you what happens. So I've only got 4 words there, so I'm going to add in another, just a long word, and comma. I have to delete one. Which one was it? That one. Okay. Now you see, it tells me only, unfortunately this error confused me for so long until someone in the forum explained it. It says only one fan merge tag can be added. Please change the following tags. So if it if you get this issue, it won't add the tags, they'll stay in here. So, but it removes the comma at the end. So I'm just going to put the comma at the end, so it knows this is a phrase. And now I've got to take stuff out, because what that only one fan merge, it's an inaccurate error. It's not telling you, because nothing in here has to do with fan merge. So it's just the wrong error message. But essentially what it's telling you is this is too long. So when you see only one fan merge tag to be added, what it really means is your tag is too long. So then you have to take a word or whatever out, swap words for shorter words, etc. Okay, now I want this tag to be at the top, because the order of the tags does play a small role. It's not a critical issue, but I just like to do it so that I can make sure that Google really knows that this modern minimalist wedding invitation really, that this page really is designed for that. So I'm going to, oh sorry, I sometimes forget to explain what I'm doing. Under your list of tags, you'll see view tags above as text and remove all tags above. So if you click that, it's just going to delete all of them. It also tells you underneath there how many tags you've used and the number of characters. So I want to move this tag at the end to the beginning. So what I'm going to do is click view above as text, just triple click in there to select it, copy, close. Now I'm going to remove all those tags, they're gone. Then I click in there, I paste, put in a comma at the end. You know, for some annoying reason or other, it removes the comma at the end if you paste it. But I just got in the habit of always putting the comma before I do anything else. Okay, so now I want to move this to the beginning. So I'm just going to select it, Control X to cut it, and go right to the beginning of the tags and paste it. And then I can click add tags. Now you can see we've still got the 10 tags, but the one that I wanted at the beginning is there. So you can always change the order, or you know, if you've made a mistake, a spelling mistake or a typo or something, you know, in one of these tags, and you're like, oh, but if I delete it and add a new one, it's going to go at the end, whatever. Yeah, that's how you could, but you know, don't sweat too much over the tags. You know, do your best, make long tail keywords, which is basically these phrases instead of individual words, but just don't spam it so that every single tag has the word wedding or invitation in, because that's going to get you in trouble. Okay, so as I said, use ChatGPT's suggestions to kind of get ideas for tags, but like something like wedding, dinner, and dancing, I don't believe that's what customers are searching for when they're searching for a wedding invitation. So that's the kind of thing I would not put in there. You know, timeless, I would say maybe if you kind of mixed it with chic, formal or timeless wedding theme, something like that. Okay, sorry, I'm not going to keep going on about that, but yes. Okay, so the point is ChatGPT can do all the heavy lifting for this page. You know, if you're really struggling, you know, with brain fog, and even coming up with the title is too hard, you can use this custom GPT and you can just take this title, but you don't include the word invitation, because that gets added on the end automatically. So Control C, copy it, and you could then put that in there. But like I said, you know, because this title is Elegant Minimalist Wedding Invitation, we've got, yes, we don't have minimalist, but we've got modern, elegant, handwritten script, QR code, wedding invitation. There are far more keywords and phrases in there than, you know, the option that ChatGPT has given you. But like I said, you know, rather publish a product than not publish it because you're struggling with brain fog and you can't come up with the titles or whatever. You know, it's the fantastic thing about ChatGPT, because literally all we did was give it a screenshot. I didn't have to type anything. Screenshot, paste it in, and it immediately gives you all of that information. So, you know, don't worry about, oh well, I can't, come up with my own title. Just use ChatGPT for it. The only thing, as I said, is the tags. I don't recommend copying them, certainly not as is, because like I said, it's just spam. You can't have the same words repeated over and over and over again across the tags. But like I said, you can get some ideas. So that's how I would use ChatGPT for that. Alright, so now let's scroll down. We did the tags. Okay, so here, additional information. Suitable audience. So I don't recommend that you do anything that's not G-rated, which means anybody, it's for kids and adults alike. Simply because in order to see, PG-13 and R-rated, you have to change a setting here. I think I actually physically did change this, because the default, I think, is that you can't see PG-13 or R-rated products. And even with the R-rated, I tried to create a mug or something with the F word on it, and they were having none of it. They rejected it. So but anyway, the number of people who are going to see it, because most people don't think to scroll to the bottom and read all this stuff and content filter. No, so few people are doing that, and I'm sure that 90% of those people are designers. So yes, in terms of what qualifies as PG-13 or R-rated, they do give you some explanations here, but in general, I would say stay away from anything that could be deemed, age restricted, because most people are not going to see it. So yes, everything should be G-rated. Then product visibility. So who can see it? Public, which is obviously what you want. Everyone can see it. That's going to be your default that you want to select every time. I'm going to do something different, because this is just a test store, so I don't actually want to make any sales in here or anything. So I'm not going to publish this to the marketplace. So as I said, you will always click that one, public, which means everyone can see it. I'm going to select hidden, only I can see it. Okay, so this is not going to show up in the marketplace if you search on Zazzle. It's not going to show up at all, because I've said hide it. But as I said, you are always going to do public. Direct only might be if you've designed something for yourself that you want to order. Then when you publish it, you make it direct only. Okay, so those are your options. Make product a template. You always want to click. You don't have to click it, actually. It's the default option. All that means is all of those text items that we gave labels and all the rest of it to tell Zazzle's tool that these are template items that the customer needs to replace with their own text. That makes that product a template. So make product a template. If you click on the little help thing, it will explain it in a lot more detail to you. So I'm not going to go into great amount of detail. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But if you select no, that means that people can't customize your design at all. And then show customize it button. That is whether or not you're going to let them have the option to go into the design. Sorry, I'm going to stop there, because I don't need to explain stuff that Zazzle explains far better than I could. But essentially all you need to know is that you should always have yes and yes, public and G-rated. So basically all four of these should be checked. Okay, Now we get to royalty information. So, the default royalty percentage, well, that's so interesting actually, because I was going to say, I think that once you've put in whatever your royalty percentage is, that it will automatically put that in for you. But I'm not sure if that works. And the only reason I'm not sure if that's how it works is because I always use a previous design product. So, for example, if I'm doing a wedding invitation, I will use a previous wedding invitation and just change the design, the fonts, and whatever. It's just to save me some typing again, which is important with ME or whatever illness. It saves a lot of time. Now, if you do that and you then publish that copy, it will usually have all the information that you had for your original product. Sorry, I know I'm not explaining this well. Let's just keep it simple for now. You need to choose a royalty percentage. Now, you might have noticed I said something recently about a change that Zazzle made to their terms and conditions, which kind of changed it changed a lot of things. So there's been a lot of discussion in the forums, which, by the way, it's if you want to go have a look, it's community.zazzle.com, and you use your normal Zazzle sign in. If you're logged in, you'll be logged in the community, and you'll see all the different message boards. And there's one for I think it's called the Ambassador Program, and that's where all the discussions have been happening about the changes, because Zazzle has changed the way they pay out royalties and referrals. So what am I talking about with referrals? As I would have mentioned in the first video, on Zazzle there are two ways for you to make money. One is from designing your own products and selling them on the Zazzle store. The other way is to send customers to Zazzle, and if they then buy something using your link, so they followed your link, it's a special link that tells Zazzle, oh, this customer came from Natalie. So whatever they buy, whether they buy something of mine or they buy somebody else's, I get 15% commission. It's called a referral fee. So that was the way it used to work. Now they've changed it, and originally I thought it was maybe my brain fog, but everybody's complaining about how confused they are, because I'm not even going to go into and explaining it, because it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because that's where I was at. I was like, oh God, I don't know how to figure this out. And there was some wonderful, wonderful woman in the forum who is obviously a whiz with maths, and she put together a spreadsheet and and she was showing us all the different variations and whatever. Anyway, so based on her analysis, essentially what she said is what most sellers set their royalty percentage. So you choose how much money you want to make on a product. In this little calculator here, you can change the percentage. The minimum is 5, but I can change it to 50 if I want, and then you'll watch. So the price here is $2.15, and you're earning 11 cents. If I click out of here and it applies that 50%, now the rate is $4.10. The price, and you earning $1.95. But obviously, the percentage you add on is going to make a difference to your sales. But so the guidance that was around at the time when I signed up was set your royalty rate at 14.9%, because at 15% plus you get charged an excess royalty fee. So you'll see here, because I've changed this to 50, it now says this estimated earnings. So in other words, they're deducting a 10-cent excess royalty fee from your earnings. So what does that mean? If I go back to 5, you'll see that disappears. So there's no deduction here. So it used to be that if your percentage was less than 15, you wouldn't get charged a fee. So there was no fee. They have now changed it, and they're now saying anything over 10%. So you can see 10% is fine, there's no fee. As soon as I go to 10.1%, there's a fee. But as you can see, the amount of the fee is really negligible. To go from 10%, so let's just say here it's 22 cents you're earning. Let's go to 15%. So I mean, you're earning 34. I was looking at the wrong thing. I should be looking at the price. But I'm sure you can tell it's a 2-cent excess royalty fee. So the excess royalty fee, if you are a brave soul and you go read through the actual terms and conditions, you can also copy and paste that into ChatGPT and ask it to explain it to you in plain language. I couldn't even do that. So I just went by what this woman in the forum said. Her calculations that she showed. Even the calculations I didn't understand, because they're just, I can't even explain to you what's complicated about it, because it's so complicated. So the important part for me was, she said, if you were charging 14.9% before these changes to how the things are calculated, in order to earn the same now, you have to charge 23.7%. So that is what I've done. I've changed. Zazzle says in their documentation that somewhere that they recommend 10%. I could not recommend 10% more. You will just, it's just not even worth doing as far as I'm concerned, unless you've got a huge shop where you're selling, tens of thousands of dollars every month. No. So I certainly do recommend, and most people, because there are people who kept or dropped their commission rate to 10%, and they're really struggling because they're not making anything near what they were making. I think essentially if you charged 14.9% before the change and you continue to charge 14.9%, you make half of what you made before, but only if the sale was referred by someone. Like I said, it's a complicated thing. I don't want to get into it. You wouldn't always earn half of that. It depends on where the sale came from. So if there's no referral, nobody referred it, so the person just typed Zazzle.com in their browser and started looking and found your product and bought it, there's no referrer, then you get I don't even know, you get more. That's all I know. But anyway, as I said, this is what this woman said. I know a number of people have said that they have also now set their royalty percentage to 23.7. I was a bit worried. This is why I wanted some time before doing this lesson, because I wasn't sure if that was going to tank my sales. I wasn't sure if it was going to tank my sales, so I wanted a little bit of time to see and I'm quite happy that my sales are fine. I'm making like 14, 15 sales a day. There hasn't been any kind of noticeable drop off in terms of the number of sales or the amount I've earned. In some cases, I'm earning a lot more than I earned before. That's on those ones that haven't been referred by anybody. Because obviously, when a sale is referred, somebody needs to get a piece of the pie, and so your piece is going to be less. So that's essentially, one of the changes they've made. So the 23.7, I'm happy with, I'm sticking with. I obviously can't tell you what rate you should set your royalties at. I can tell you that I originally had my rate at 10%, and then I'd been doing a lot of research, online, Zazzle guides and tips, and that's where I saw someone saying set your rate to 14.9, and I had a look around more, saw a lot of people were doing that, so that's what I did. I changed my rate to 14.9, but then after a little while, a few weeks or whatever, I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm missing out on sales. So I changed it back to 10%, and there was no difference. So I just put it back up to 14.9, and that's the way it's been for a couple of years until now, this month. But so far, I'm more than happy that this 23.7 is working for me. If you look at the difference between, let's even just say 14.9%, the price for the, is that thing not updating now? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's 240, the retail price. If I changed it now to 23.7, it's 270. It's not a huge amount of money that is going to be enough to put a customer off if they really like your design. Could you possibly be losing some sales? I can't say no. There's obviously no way to know. Are there shoppers who are only interested in price and they're going to go for the cheapest one? In that case, I'm okay with losing that sale, because in order to get that sale, I would have to drop my rate to 5%. And then, I might as well just, shut my stores down. So, like I said, I can't tell you what you should do. I can only say that I'm going with the 23.7, and I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with the results. But you by all means go look in the community forum, see what people are discussing. As I said, you'll look for the ambassador program board. That's where the conversation is happening. Lots of people are asking a lot of questions. Some of the questions, I have the same questions. Some of the questions, I don't even understand the question. So yeah, I'm not bothering doing any more research. So I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to give you any more information than I have already. But as I said, go have a look at the community and see what people are saying. But you can pick any royalty rate you want. Obviously, if you go too high, you are going to start pricing yourself out of the market. And if you go too low, you're not going to make any money. So you've got to find whatever happy medium you feel. And by all means, you can experiment. In the beginning, it's a little bit harder to experiment because you don't have a lot of products, and so you're not making a lot of sales. So it takes time till you can really start experimenting. But I just wanted to say that I do not recommend going with 10% or less. And yeah, like I said, my customers, I'm still having people buy even though the price has gone up and it might be more than some, most, I don't know, of the other designers' rate. But so far, I'm not feeling a dip. I did temporarily change my rate back to 14.9, and I noticed no difference, so I put it back up to 23.7, and that's what I'm sticking with. I did notice when I put my rate up to 23.7, so above, Zazzle's threshold before they start charging this excess royalty fee, all of the Z ranks on all of my stores went down one. So we've discussed the Z rank before when we set up the store. So this one, I don't have a Z rank yet because this profile completion is only at 30%. So I still need 10 products. I'm not even in my store. Yeah, didn't we finish the store? Yeah, okay, so yeah, I do have the Z rank. So I've got the Z rank of 1 because I've only completed 35% of the requirements to have a complete store. So I need to create 10 products, 10 collections, share 10 products, share 10 store collections, and upload 10 media items. So creating 10 store products and the upload 10 media items will be an easy one. Sharing the 10 store products also easy, and once you've got the collections, sharing them easy. It's the store collections is going to take a little bit of time because essentially that's where you group together products, whether it's they have the same design. If it's a wedding invitation, it's the coordinating products, or it's like Father's Day, personalized Father's Day gifts, where you've got all different kinds of products from your store, whether it's baseballs, it's, t-shirts, mugs, whatever it is for dads, that you create a collection. So the point is it takes time to build up enough products to be able to split them into 10 store collections. But anyway, this Z rank, it goes up to 10. And once you've completed all of this stuff, I think it goes up to 4. And then from there, it is definitely based on sales, but it's also based on the ratio of items in your products in your store that have sold and products that haven't. So what does that mean? If you have 100 products and only 2 of them have ever made sales, Zazzle is not going to rank your store very highly, because what it's saying is most of your designs are not popular, people don't like them, no one's buying them. So what you want to try and do, and obviously this does also take time, but it's something you need to think about, is you need to go through your products, and we'll see what information you get for each product. There's no products in here. We're about to publish this one. You do need to tidy up your store, and my personal policy is if a product has not sold in the past year, the past 12 months, I hide it. I don't ever delete products anymore, because when I had my Dragonflies and Dreams store, I somehow deleted all of my best-selling, I had t-shirts and things with various, of my ME awareness designs on, and I managed to delete all of the bestsellers. Now, I vaguely remember deleting stuff, but I have no memory of actually deleting the best-selling products, and I have no idea why I mean, there's no possible explanation. There's no possible good reason to delete all your best-selling products. But I somehow managed to do it, and yeah. So now my policy since then, and I highly recommend that you follow the same policy, is don't ever delete products. Just change them to hidden. So, you know, when I said when you look here, you can set it to public, hidden, or direct only. Direct only means you can only access it if you have the link. So this one means hidden, nobody can see it except you. This one means people can see it if they have the direct link to it. So you can also change this once you've published the product. Alright, so to go back here. Now we've sorted that out, so we're going to make 61 cents estimated earnings. And like I said, there's a whole explanation. I don't understand all the explanations. I don't worry about this. I'm only getting in charge 3 cents, 3 cents coming off my earnings because my rate is over 10%. I'm more than happy with that. Now you'll see it says, since this is a new product, you have 24 hours to finalize your royalty percentage. Changes after that go into effect on the 20th of every month. Okay, so what that means is gosh, sorry. Mouth's so dry. What does that mean? What are we doing? Oh yes, 24 hours. Okay, so I publish this now at 23.7. Today is the 22nd of April. Now, within the next 24 hours, so before whatever the time is now, before that time tomorrow, I can change that percentage, and I'll show you where you do it from within your store. You can change the percentages. But after that 24 hours, so in other words, if you do it within the 24 hours, it's not an immediate change, but it will happen within a day, that your royalty rate will change. After 24 hours, if you make a change, so I leave this like this, and then day after tomorrow, I decide, I want to, make it 25% or whatever. That change will then only take effect on the 20th of May. So the 20th of every month. So because it's after the 20th, it means that change will only happen on the 20th of the next month. So, if you're wanting to change rates or whatever, just take note of the date. And you want to make sure that you make changes before the 20th of the month. Because if it's like now, it's the 22nd, it's a long way to, the 22nd of May. So, the 20th of May. So yeah, you do want to kind of think about it before you change your royalty rates. But anyway, so that's what that's about. Then the last thing here is about instant downloads. So you have to say enable this product for instant download. In your settings, somewhere you can specify this so that it by default has enable this product for instant download and whatever your rate is. I did increase this here 90. So you can see the retail price is that $11.95, and then my earnings, if I keep it at 92.89, is $10.55. Includes a 56-cent excess royalty fee. So you can see if your royalty rate is greater than 10%. Now, there's a mistake in the text there, because this is where that 10% would apply. This is not, they're not expecting you to change it, your digital royalty percentage, because if I change it to 10, I make 10 cents on a digital sale, which is madness. If I change it, I know it was 92, but I think I'm just changing mine to 93. You make 10.73. And yes, they've taken off 56 cents because you're over, I don't know if it's maybe 90%. I wonder if it is. Change it to 90. No, so I think it's a mistake they probably have to fix. So you could choose whatever royalty rate you want, but obviously, if you're going to be, I wonder what the max is. Let's just see. No greater than 99. So yeah, so if you make it 99, that's the highest you can go, but that means the customer has to pay $85 for a digital invitation. Nobody's doing that. So you can see with the digital percentage calculations, just a couple of percent makes a huge difference. So you look at the price, it's $85. If I change it to 93%, $12. So yeah, you have to have a look at what the best-selling products are selling for, because obviously those are popular ones, so people are willing to pay that price. And if the royalty rate that you want is a little bit higher, so yours is going to cost a little bit more, a couple of cents is really not going to make a difference. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And don't feel that you have to set your royalty rate to 10% in order to get your shop going. It's not necessary. But as I said, go have a look at the community forum, see the discussions there that people are having about their royalty rates. Some people are scared to raise their rates above 10%, but it's just not worthwhile financially if you're going to do that. And especially in the beginning, you can't be giving away half of your earnings. And I mean, I know it's not really technically the right way to say it. You're not losing half of your earnings, but compared to the way it was before, you're just earning a lot less, and it's not necessary. So yes, I'm not going to keep going on about that. So yes, I set my instant downloads to 93%, and that's how I leave it. So I made an average of 10. Sometimes if there's referrers involved and they're taking a piece of the pie, it goes down to about $7 or $8 sometimes, but I'm happy with that. Okay, so then you have to click this, I have the right to publish. Basically what this says is you haven't stolen somebody else's graphics or fonts or design ideas, and so you are allowed to publish it. So you click on the post. Please note that it can take up to 24 hours for your product to appear in search results. So I'm glad it reminded me, because obviously I don't get, you just click that so it doesn't show you. So essentially what that means is you say okay, then you're going to have this page that comes up. I usually ignore everything on here, but you can send a person an email link to your product, this product. I just go to this link that says go there now. Click on that and let the page load all the way until that little symbol there comes up. I want this thing to go away. There. Okay. Sorry, that distracted me. Now I've forgotten. Oh yes, okay, so you need this page to load completely. Why? It then registers one visit because you have now visited your product. So when you have a look at your we're going to refresh now the store products page, and there we go, there's the product. Okay, so first thing I just want to point out is you can see this red circle here. That tells you that it's not publicly available. So remember, when I published it, I chose hidden because I don't want anybody to be able to see it or buy it. You will always choose public, and I'll show you, well, let me not do that for now. I'm actually not going to go into all of this now because I think you guys are probably all overwhelmed, and at least you now know how to publish products, so you can get that going. I'll just show you one more thing here, which is the information it just gives you here by default is not great. So if you click on this, so you just click anywhere basically between these two lines, it opens up these additional options. So you can say you want to see all of them, or you can say, okay, I just want to see number of views and whatever. You can choose whatever you want. I have them all as options, and it just means that you can then see most of the information that you would want to see. You can see your royalty rate, when last it was sold, how many you've sold in total, how many orders you've had over all time, the last 30 days, the last 7 days, how many likes has the product received, when was it last modified. So you can change a listing after you've listed it. In which case then this last modified date will tell you when you changed the tags or you changed the description or whatever. And then obviously date created, and last viewed date. So I look at all my products on a regular basis, and I go through to see, okay, this was last viewed a year ago, and it hasn't sold. There's nothing sold. It's all zeros here. So I'm going to delete this because this is just dragging my Z rank down. And the Z rank definitely influences your ranking in the search engine. So it is important. But anyway, I'll just tell you now that if you need to make a change, let's say you realize when you went through the whole publishing process you made a mistake, you just go to this actions menu here, you click on that little arrow, and then you go to edit details. You'll also see I'm not going to talk about all these options, but you can make it public if you like. Let's say for example I decided, okay, I don't want this hidden anymore, I want it to show. I can just change it to make public, and then you'll see it refreshes immediately, and now that red thing is gone. So I'm going to make it hidden again to fix it. Okay, and then to edit it, you go to edit details, and that will bring up this thing where you've got product info, which is where you get your title, department, and description. Product merchandising, so that's where you can change the options if you want to change the corners. Then categories, those are the 3 categories that we selected. Here's the tags. It also works the same way, so I can view all of those tags, copy them all, close it, remove all the tags. I'll just do it now, and paste the tags that I copied, and I can then make changes or whatever I need to do, or I can copy all of these to use for another product somewhere else. Then additional information, so this is where the age restriction and the visibility, you can change those. Your royalty you can change, and your instant downloads. Why did I not? It's weird. Thought I did enable it. Okay, 93%. So my royalty there is 23.7. Here it's for the instant downloads is 93. And I click done. Now see, it's now got that green thing there that says downloadable. So because I enabled the digital downloads, that little thing appears, and it also appears in the search results, so that customers who are scrolling through search results will see, oh, okay, this invitation is also downloadable. While we're here, you can see by default you're going to see your printed stats. So this is also downloadable, but you're only going to see your printed data here. You have to switch to digital stats to see. Now you'll see it says digital orders, digital quantity sold. So that's if you want to compare the two different options. That option, by the way, the digital option is not available for every paper product. So programs are not downloadable. There's no downloadable option. There's a number of different other sort of paper products where you can't, it's not downloadable. Yeah, I think that's all you need to really worry about here. You can sort of if you want to see, okay, I only want to see my publicly available products, you can click that, and then you'll see that that one is gone because it's not public. If I want to see only the hidden ones, it will then bring that one back. Or I can see all, obviously. This confused me. It says instant download settings. So what do you want to see? I want to see product. It doesn't matter whether the product is downloadable or it's not downloadable. I don't care. I want to see them all. Eligible. Eligible means they it's different to enabled, because eligible means it could be offered as an instant download, like an invitation. Those are it is an option, but you haven't enabled it. So whether you've done it on purpose or by mistake, you haven't activated the option for it to be available as an instant download. So that is useful if you want to make sure that you have made all of your invitations or all of your, I think thank you cards might be downloadable as well, I'm not sure. You just want to check, you can click on the eligible, and then if you see any items here, any products here, that means those ones have not been made, have not been enabled for digital downloads. Enabled will show you all the ones where you have actually made them available as digital downloads. Set back to any. Okay, that's all I'm going to cover there. You can also, just your search. You can decide how you want to search. By default, it's going to show you your newest products first. But you can change to say order it by popularity. Popularity, I can't tell you how Zazzle calculates it. It doesn't make sense to me sometimes, so I'm sure it's a very complicated algorithm. But yeah, popularity, I don't know what that is. Then obviously you can order by alphabetical order. The number of orders over all time, for the last 7 days, for the last 30 days, what date were they last sold. So you can go to items that were sold. I go and look for anything that was sold more than a year ago, and then I will change it to hidden. Quantity sold, so you might have 3 orders, but you've sold 500 invitations. Last viewed date, that's also an important one. Things, lose, go out of style or whatever, and you might have, you did a retro groovy wedding invitation, and now that whole theme is over. So, at some point you probably should just hide it. But I think, with trends, that is a better thing to do, not just because brain fog might get you to do something horrendous like I did, but also that that fashion might come back, that trend might come back. They just recycle. So keep it in your store. If it's hidden, it doesn't affect your Z rank. So that's why I hide stuff that hasn't sold in more than a year or hasn't been viewed in more than a year. Other people disagree with that policy, but that's the way I do it. and I have now, I think, 5 stores, and 3 of them are at Z rank 9, and 2 of them are at 8. So what is my point? Oh yes, when I changed my royalty rate to above 10%, my Z rank went down. So my 9 stores went down to 8, and my 8 stores went down to 7. So I was a little bit panicky about that, but I decided to hang tough, and I'm so glad I did, because they all went back up again. So I still have my 3 Z rank 9 stores. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, because I'm sure I've been talking for like 3 hours by now. I hope that I managed to make sense to you. Please, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. So please post them in the comments on the Facebook post in the group, and I'll be happy to answer and to help you and give suggestions and whatever it is you need. So if you have watched this video, if you've managed to get through it, and you're still a bit confused about anything, I'm more than happy to do a much shorter video where I just explain whatever specific area is unclear. I want to make sure that you guys feel confident that you know what you're doing. So please don't hesitate to ask. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there now. As I said, I think that the next one will be on designing with graphics, and where to get graphics and how to use them. So that one's probably also going to be a long video, but as I said, that's why I'm posting these videos on YouTube, so that you can watch as much as you want to watch or are able to watch, and then just leave and come back whenever, and it will just pick up where you left off. Yeah, I think that's, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm really struggling a bit now. Yeah, I hope you guys are getting value out of these videos, and as I said, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're confused about anything, I'm more than happy to do extra videos or whatever, just to explain those things. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling. I hope you guys have the best possible morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are, and better days, everybody.